a blind piano player, wrestler, long-distance runner, and a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions across the U.S., are here to tell their story of their unique and incredible journey together. Welcome to the Nancy and Mike Show. Nancy and Mike will engage you with some of the most unimaginable and heartwarming stories of their extraordinary life. So please welcome your hosts, Nancy and Mike.
Hi, my name is Mike Zorick.
And this is Nancy Noble.
We are coming to you live, broadcasting from YouTube in Florida, God inspired. This is the Nancy and Mike Show.
Yeah.
Today's date, this is the last show of the year. It's December 27th, 2025.
Whoa.
And last week I did something very unusual. And that is, I did not time everything properly. And as a result, I did not finish the show. I left some of the topics not completely wrapped up.
Okay.
And so I'm going to finish that off today. Now, what happened last week, what I talked about mainly was my first varsity wrestling match when I was in the 8th grade. Now, when we had a school who allowed you to wrestle on the varsity team from 7th grade through 12th grade.
So the grammar school and high school were together.
Yeah, we had grades kindergarten through 12th grade was the same school. We never changed
The
schools.
school for the blind.
So, yeah, the schools for the blind.
Okay, cool.
So, anyway, that's how that went down. And when I was in the 8th grade, I wrestled against a guy who was an undefeated state champion in the 103-pound class. And after the match, we were wrestling on canvas mats.
I remember that rough stuff.
And there was a story about that match that Nancy told me 55 years after the fact, because I couldn't figure it out for myself. It was maybe close to 60 years after the fact. But I'm going to
You don't know colors. That's one thing.
tell that during this show.
Okay, cool.
But I'm going to start out with a different thing that I had a couple weeks ago. Remember, I had a match against Kingswood, and I lost that match 2-1. And I talked about how devastating it was for me.
And you said it even hurts you now to talk about
Yes, it does, because to go back to old times, the wrestling committee decided to kick me and my school out of the state tournament because I was too good. This happened in the 1963-64 wrestling season. And how that occurred, my first year of 9th grade, which was 62-63 season, I beat the guy who was second in the state 4-1, and they didn't want a blind state champion. I'm just reviewing.
Yes.
Now, this guy, in my first varsity match in the 8th grade, 61-62, and the reason why I talked about it last week, because the anniversary of it was December 20th, 1961. Well, he's from Conard High School. His name was Jimmy Lovett. Conard High School was a school in Connecticut. And they scored it a 6-6 tie. And I scored it 30-6 his favor, because they didn't give him any of his near fall points, which I counted 8 near falls that he scored that he didn't even get 1 point for.
Who was the referee on your side, or
I don't know whose side he was. He must have been on my side, but I was at his school, and
makes sense.
it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So after the match, I decided I would go down to the 95-pound class
Immediately, if not sooner.
immediately, if not sooner.
Yeah.
So I started to work out, and the coach got upset with me. Jimmy Lovett's coach.
Oh, because he felt like what?
He thought that I was not respecting him, and he
Oh,
said that if I didn't stop working out, they would send somebody out for me to wrestle.
yikes!
But my left shoulder was all bloody
You were
from the
dripping blood from the friction of that canvas.
and the left shoulder bleeding like it was evidence that this guy had scored near fall
Yeah,
points.
you were on your back. He was
I was
putting your
on my
shoulder,
back. I was fighting
grinding
off
into
my
that
back.
rough canvas.
And so anyway,
Yeah,
uh
that's hard.
I got down to 95 for the next week, and I mentioned last week that I r- intensely dislike this time of year.
Yeah, I know.
One of the reasons was
We're starting to get through it, Mike.
because of yeah, I think I got one more week to go,
What-
and I hate this. I really do.
I have to admit, I like Christmas. I've always had good times growing up. Around the, I don't know. I like Christmas carols. I like getting presents. That's me. I've had happy memories, and you've had horrible memories. So that makes a difference in our
It does
baggage.
make a difference,
Yeah.
and I'll be glad next Saturday.
Yes, I know.
But anyway,
Making progress.
what I didn't like about it is my opponents, because we had our kids who lived at the school, uh, they had practice
The kids were not
during
in your
the
school.
Christmas
The other school.
holidays.
Yeah, okay. I
But
got
we didn't have practice because we didn't have enough kids to hold a practice session.
So only the kids who lived there, they could have gone, but maybe the coach wanted off. That could have been.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I didn't like
But
it,
you didn't get it.
whatever it was. I didn't get wrestling practice, and my opponents did.
Right.
And I was very competitive, and I wanted to practice like everybody else was. But anyway, I got down to 95, and the coach said that I was the best 95 pounder we ever had.
That was a good part.
We had 5 95 pounders and no 103s.
That's why he got so
That's
angry.
why he didn't want me to go down.
I know. I get it.
And I went down, and I had to wrestle 4 guys in one day, and I beat them all. So that was the story of that, and that's just reviewing last week's show. Now, there's a story behind that,
Yeah.
and I'm going to start off with that.
Okay, cool.
When after that match, my coach was proud of me because in his mind, I tied this guy who was an undefeated state champ in my first varsity match. That impressed him.
Yep, he's all excited.
And the blood is still dripping off of my left shoulder. And but anyway, I kept hearing this song in my mind. This guy was very fast. This Jimmy Lovett guy. And the song I kept hearing in my head was Lipstick on Your Collar by Connie Francis.
Yeah. I've
And
heard that before.
unfortunately, we lost her this year.
I know.
Uh,
But I've heard it. I know the song.
yes.
Lipstick on collar, hold a tell on you.
I think the 103-pound class told a tale on me also. And that's why I got out of it.
Yes.
And anyway, uh, anyway, I didn't understand the relevance of it.
No.
And later on, many years later on,
Yep.
Nancy and I went to a restaurant to meet a girlfriend of ours,
Yeah, I remember that day.
And I do too. I remember the restaurant and
Mhm.
all this stuff. And I don't remember what I ate, but I do remember the restaurant. I probably got some kind of fish
Or tuna melt.
because that's what I usually get.
Okay, go ahead.
But anyway, uh, I kept in my mind, kept hearing this lipstick on your collar. Well, the lipstick uh, was this color of blood.
Yeah,
And Nancy was explaining that when we were at Nancy's a great artist for those of you who don't know. And she explained that the relevance was the color of blood versus the color of lipstick. That was one issue.
yeah,
The other issue was this: Jimmy Lovett was very fast. And the way we had the match, we had 3 minutes on the bottom and 3 minutes on top instead of having no standing position. If
because
you know
it's a
wrestling,
small area.
you know you start out standing.
Okay.
And we didn't have standing because we didn't have enough room. We were in a small wrestling room. So, anyway, this lipstick on your collar is going through my mind. It's a fast song, and the blood symbolizes the lipstick. And it told a tale on me to get out of the 103-pound class. And the way I did that, my Christmas Day, which was a Monday in 1961, my grandmother had all my favorite foods, or not all, but some of them. And I ate nothing. And I told Coach I was going to go down, and I think he didn't believe me.
No, he didn't believe you.
And so, anyway, I got down, and the guy that I beat in the finals quit because he didn't want to go up to 103. The varsity 95.
Uh huh.
I took his spot.
Right.
And
You had to wrestle him twice.
so that's basically, yeah. And I beat him. I think the first time was 11-2. I pinned the first three guys, and then I beat him 11-2. And the second match was very similar to the first match. And the way I wasn't going to go out and lose after all the work I put out
And all the good food you missed.
to make 95. So
Right.
that's how that went down.
Yeah.
And the story I missed last week was about the lipstick on your collar.
Yeah.
No,
Sometimes when a girl kisses a guy and they're hugging and kissing, she'll get some of her red lipstick on his collar around his neck. And then his regular girlfriend would go, uh-huh, some things tells gonna tell a tale on you. So this bloody shoulder let you know you were very close to being pinned.
and that is near my collar, by the way,
I
my
know.
left shoulder.
I know. So that
So
it's kind of funny how a song would get stuck in your mind when you don't understand the significance. I think that's kind of funny.
I thought it was kind of funny too. And I thought it was kind of funny because I didn't understand the significance. And sometimes you can understand the
Yeah, I go,
significance.
oh yeah, I get that.
I can remember hearing certain songs, and I remember, well, that's when I was in the 112-pound class in 1965. And sometimes that kind of thing, they're symbolic. There was one in particular, before I go to the next story,
Okay.
it was uh, Petula Clark, downtown. Now, in the 64-65 season, I went 10-0, and I only gave up 2 points in the whole season. Well, every time I heard Downtown by Petula Clark, if I wrestled that day, I pinned the guy. And then there was a song in 1969 called Venus. Every time I heard that song, I stunk the joint out.
Well, we're going to be going to a break, and I hope you stay tuned to see what's coming up next. This is the Nancy and Mike Show. Stay tuned.
Mike Zorick, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorick, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorick has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Mike Zorick.
And this is Nancy Novo.
We are coming to you live, broadcasting from YouTube in Florida. This is the Nancy and Mike Show.
Yep.
And when we left, I was talking about
Those songs.
those different songs. One of them was Downtown by Petula Clark.
That's when you always won.
And that's when if I heard that song on the day that I wrestled, I always pinned the guy. I had 8 matches under those circumstances, and all 8 occasions I pinned my opponent.
Ooh.
Now, then there was another song that came out in 1969 when I was in college. It was called Venus by the Shocking Blue. And I like that song. But whenever I heard that song, if I wrestled that day, it's like it took the life out of me, and I would actually stink the joint out. My movements were very slow. It was like I had taken some kind of a sleeping pill,
Yeah.
and I always regretted wrestling when I heard that song because after a while I got to know
You knew what was coming.
what was coming. You know, when you repeat performances,
Yeah.
and you know when they're bad, you know what's coming up. So anyway, I had those incidents related to specific songs, rock and roll songs, and but anyway, that's how that went down.
Okay.
Now, the next one I was going to talk about is uh this loss 2-1 that it hurts me to talk about. And it was in my last 3 years I went 28-1. But I lost 2-1 to the guy from Kingswood who never lost. He was a 4-year undefeated state champion. And if I had been allowed to compete in the state tournament, we would have wrestled in the finals every year.
Right.
But anyway, Kingswood always brought their junior varsity
They
guy
didn't want to face you again.
because they didn't want to face me with their guy who had an undefeated record
Keep his record
at
big.
stake. And his closest match besides me was 13-0. He won the state finals in 1967. I saw that match. He didn't pin the guy. And but anyway, he won by a superior decision. But anyway, I mentioned a few weeks ago what I went through when I lost that match because I knew I never wrestle him again. And I was very sick. I was so sick that we had no announcers. It was at Kingswood. And my
Teammates.
they thought he was the one that
Huffing
was
and
all
puffing.
shot. I was breathing like an old steam engine.
Yeah.
That tournament, that match,
Uh-huh.
the week before, I got sick, and I was in bed all week. And by recess time, by 10 o'clock in the morning, when I went to school, because the previous week I had missed all school, I missed everything. I was in bed all week.
So you weren't used to sitting up even.
I wasn't even used to sitting up, and boy, I tell you, by 10 o'clock, the match was at 3:30. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I should have actually, if we had a lunch break, I should have gone home at lunchtime and not wrestled that day. But I was stupid. I couldn't miss a match, and maybe I would have got to wrestle him when I was healthy. But I was devastated from that loss,
I know you were.
and I'm going to talk about what would have happened if he lost. I was ahead 1-0 with 10 seconds to go in the match, and he reversed me, and he got 2 points. Now, what would have happened if he lost? He still would have had 4-year state championships. And but the thing is, he wouldn't have had a perfect record. Even though he would have still been the state champion, but he would have lost the match. Now, maybe if he lost the match, maybe the Kingswood coach would say, okay,
Try it again.
we'll try it again.
Yeah.
See if we could even the score.
Yeah, you would have fought him again.
That might have
That's
happened.
what I think.
Who knows what would have
Yeah,
transpired.
it's kind of fun to.
But in any event, the guy would have kept his 4 state titles unless I was allowed to compete in the state and I beat him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But there was more pressure on me than there was on him because I had to win.
Yep.
Now, that's the other deal. Now, the third story I was going to talk about last week was this thing at Brown University. And
That's just recent.
here's how it relates.
Yeah.
This guy came in, he was a Nazi Democrat.
Well, we don't know. He was from another country. He was studying engineering at Brown.
And he got good grades, and he
Yeah.
had no criminal record.
Right.
But anyway, he shot some people, and then he shot himself. Now, why did I say that was good for the world? I said it because
It wasn't good for the people who died. That was not good.
it wasn't good for
world.
the people who died, but it's good that he died. And I'll explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
In 1987, this guy murdered a couple. And they were bragging on the news. Listen to this. They were bragging on the news. Nancy wasn't home. She had gone to McDonald's. And I love McDonald's, by the way. Their fish and their French fries.
This is 1987?
Yeah, this happened in 1987. Now, this guy who killed a couple in 1987, he just died recently. He got the death penalty. Now, it took 38 years for this guy to get the death penalty. And on the news, they were bragging, well, we had 19 death penalties this year. Some states don't even have a death penalty. I think we should have the punishment fitting the crime. That would lower crime rate considerably.
I know I have a different opinion than Mike because what if someone's innocent and or they repented and no, I don't think it's right to kill someone who's innocent and
I don't either.
with bad judges, bad lawyers and stuff. People go through the cracks and get murdered. So
I don't think it's right to kill
yeah,
someone that's
different
innocent.
opinions. Mike and I, we have our own ideas on things, and we still get along.
I think it's right if you kill somebody, not in self defense. Now, if you kill somebody in self defense, that's a different issue.
Oops.
If there should be no punishment for self defense. I remember when I was a kid, I had a lot of fights. I had a ton of fights because had no eyesight and I was small. So I had fights, especially in my early grades.
But you never started one.
I never started one. My father told me never start a fight, and never let the other guy finish it. And I stuck to that. And after I get done with the wrestling stuff, I'm going to talk about uh, school. What kind of kid was I? Well, I'm going to let the listeners decide what kind of kid I was. I'm not going to tell you.
Well, I like you.
And some people like me and some people don't. I guess I'm no different than anyone else
Right.
in that regard. But I'm going to talk about my school days. What kind of kid was I? You know this much. I was a great athlete. I was a great musician. And I had bad reading comprehension, which caused me to stay back in ninth grade. So you know that much about me, but you don't know how I behaved.
I
Uh,
I know you drew lines and you
yes, I did
corrected teachers no
draw
matter what
lines.
the cost.
And I had incidents with teachers,
Uh-huh.
reporting up to the principal's office and uh, things like that when I thought they went overboard. And
You
but
stood for what was right.
I tried to stand for what was right, for what God wanted me to do. And but anyway, I'm going to talk about my school history before I get into college and all this other stuff, my future. But that's the way that went down on this death penalty thing. And we got a commercial coming up pretty soon. And after the commercial, Nancy's
Okay.
going to do her wonderful thing,
This is the Nancy and Mike Show. We'll be right
and
back.
we'll be right back.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hi, my name is Mike Zorick.
And this is Nancy Noble.
We are coming to you live, broadcasting from YouTube in Florida.
Yes.
This is the Nancy and Mike show. Nancy's going to come and do her wonderful thing, and then I will talk about sports.
Okay.
And so here she is.
Well, I get this from the book Quiet Time for Couples, and it's a really beat up book, but this really made sense to me because it happened to Mike and I think, boy, you guys are so close. We just would manage everything, but the word is drifting. So the scripture is from James chapter 1 verse 4. But let endurance and steadfast and patience have full play and do a thorough work. So drifting. This is the word. Drifting is one of the most common forms of marital failure. Drifting not only is it the most common form, it is also the most dangerous because it's so subtle, it's quiet, it is non offensive, it sounds no alarms, it just gradually creeps into our lives and then it destroys it. Step by step, the emotional deadness sneaks up on us as we move further and further away from our mates and away from God. I'm putting that in. The appearance of all is well is our play card. We fail to see the absence of real caring. Why should we see it? We have the preoccupation of keeping busy. The absence of emotional pain is accepted as a sign is that everything's okay. We are busy, we are content, and everything is, in quotes, fine. We have grown accustomed to the way things are. Are there any drifting tendencies? It might help to take a close look right now. Sometimes they are very subtle, but they are there. And I remember one time when we were in Connecticut and something was coming. We knew something was coming. And I remember the five. We got insight from God. The first one was put God first. Second was draw lines. And third was watch out for pride. Fourth was communicate better. And let's see, simplify. Did I get them all?
You got them all.
Yeah, that, and it's just five things, but whoa, it 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 went into our heart. We didn't say, okay, we got to do this. Nope, we heard them and we changed, and we. I tell you, the main thing, if you put God first, it kind of just falls in line. But I wasn't, when we first got married, I didn't know what draw lines mean. What's draw lines? I don't know. But I am learning. You say, nope, you can't cross that line. You went a little too far that time. We're not accepting that. And it's drawing lines without emotion. You just see what's right, and that's it. Oh, and I got one little thing, nice thing about faith. Faith is not shelter against difficulty, but belief in the face of all the contradictions. That was written by Paul Tournier. And then also, one time, this one girl said it in a prayer group, they fear man more than God. So, no, you don't put man ahead of God and fear man. You have to fear God, respect God. Okay, that's it. I just felt that little creepiness that sometimes you think everybody's doing fine in church, that they all look okay, but there's a sneaky little creepy thing coming in. Huh, Mike?
Yep.
Yep. And this is the time of year when we had so much trying to get this and that organized, family, friend. Let's see, I did 205 Christmas cards about, huh, Mike?
Yeah.
And I was like, I told Mike, I'm like a factory here. I'm like, sign this, sign this, do that. And it can be distracting, busy work sometimes, huh, Mike?
Yeah, it could be. And I remember we discussed that in one of our shows, the problems with being too busy.
Yeah,
And sometimes people are busy. We've had incidents where we were busy, but we didn't get rid of our friends.
right.
We were busy for a short period, so that uh, well, we can't do it today, but we could do it next week or
Yeah,
this
rain
time.
check, rain
Uh,
check.
yeah. So, but some people who are, when you're busy all the time, what happens is it makes you wonder about priorities, and
That's the thing that you help me with,
that's the
priorities.
thing that
Yep.
because
And sometimes I think, well, priorities, how do you do that? But it just put the right thing first, the most important
and
thing.
I know when this time of the year comes, our for the most part, our friends, they they actually pretend that they never knew us, and it's been a constant thing
No,
for me since
mhm.
my college days.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's we'll get together after the holidays.
yeah, right.
Hmm.
And one of the things I don't know if you're done yet.
I'm done.
Okay, one of the things I wanted to mention. This for me was one of the worst holiday seasons I ever had.
Because of the sports?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no college basketball. And all these TV channels are changing their programming for the holidays. So what we do, we stick to the channels that aren't changing their lineup.
Or sometimes TCM has good old movies.
That
we like.
has their regular. Yeah, we saw a good movie last night. Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah.
We saw when it was out in 1979,
It was
and
one of our first dates.
I can remember. I didn't know anything about it. And one thing I said to Nancy, we were at the movie theater, and I said that when there is a marital issue, a divorce, or a man can never win in our
Yeah.
court system.
And the actor who played the husband said that too. He said it.
And
What he doesn't know why, but
I said that.
mhm.
And I said that the girl's going to win the case regardless of who's right, the girl wins. And that's the way it is in this country. And you see uh, girls who don't get paid, they don't get their alimony, they get killed by the husbands. Uh, they
It's favoritism and not justice.
it's not justice, and sometimes it is justice. Sometimes the girl deserves to win,
Right.
but not 100% of the time.
Right.
And anyway, I said that while we were at the movie theater, and sure enough, she did win. But later on, she gave up.
Yeah.
And I know
It
somebody.
was the right thing.
I know somebody who got divorced, and the girl gave up. She gave the guy the kids, and
Hmm.
you know, and if the if the girl doesn't give up, she wins the case automatically.
It's favoritism.
It's favoritism, it's prejudice,
Mm.
it's hatred, and anytime the Bible talking about favoritism, there's 8 different books that mention, and I quote, the sin of favoritism. And when you use favoritism, you're actually sinning.
Right.
And so that's where this thing goes. And
Well, what are you going to talk about sports?
pretty soon,
And not too much sports around now.
and there was yeah, I know
No.
what's there to talk about. Uh, there's 3 football games Thursday. None of them were televised, and they were all lousy games. And I usually pick, let me tell you, and this is why I say this is the worst holiday ever. Um, Usually after Christmas, they start having college basketball, and I pick my 10 games.
I know you like
Well,
that.
there's no games today. Now, they haven't had any games for a whole week. And I'm going to have to pick 20 games by January the 5th.
Ah, good luck.
And anyway,
Uh-huh.
I'm doing my best.
Right.
I'm 22 and 18 now. And so that's where I'm at. But anyway, today there's pro basketball, there's pro hockey. I'm surprised the Celtics are 19 and 11. And of course, they're not going to beat New York. New York is 21 and 9. And the Bruins are horrible. They can't stop anybody, and they can't score. You know, it's like a team in baseball, a team that can't hit that has no pitching.
Great.
You know, you're going to lose every game, right?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
So I don't remember the last time the Bruins had a close game. And anyway,
Well, we're going to a break. This is the Nancy and Mike show, so stay tuned.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to easysense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's easysense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
Hi, my name is Mike Zorick.
And this is Nancy Noble.
We are coming to you live, broadcasting from YouTube in Florida. And when we left, I was talking about the dangers of favoritism. It's actually what people today call prejudice. And there's 3 kinds of prejudice. And this is what I saw when I was growing up, when I was a little boy.
You have a lot of awareness when you're little.
And one of the prejudices is ignorance. And here's how ignorance goes.
You just don't know any better?
You don't know any better.
Oh, okay.
And here's what they say. And I'll use myself because I
Oh,
don't
okay.
have any eyesight. They'll say, if I was blind, I could never do what this person is doing. And they use it to prevent me from doing it because
Or
they
they don't
believe
believe you did it.
that I could do it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's ignorance prejudice.
Yeah. They're putting themselves in your place in their mind.
And then there's hate prejudice.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And that's the most common one, where they're not going to give you a chance no matter what because they don't, something about your character or whatever they don't like. So they're going to not give you the opportunity. And then one that I had a lawsuit in Florida
Uh-huh.
for a teaching job. So this is the third kind of prejudice. And I know all about this because I run into all of them. It's called the high expectation prejudice. Now, what that refers to is if you're in a place where you're applying for a job and whoever doesn't want to hire you will create conditions for you that nobody else has to do. For example, I'll give you 2 examples that happened to me. I was fighting for a school teaching job in Clay County, Florida. And I started to write down the address of the place, and I was fired because I was using a braille writer. So that was the first thing. So I sued them. And the school board said, can you fly an airplane? And my answer to that was I didn't know that flying an airplane was one of the qualifications for being a teacher at this school. That's how I answered that question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was another issue where I was applying for this job. It was a recreation job. And the first thing the girl asked me was if none of the umpires show up for a baseball game and there's 8 games going on, how would you umpire those 8 games that the umpires didn't show up for. So what she was asking me was, uh, can you be at 8 places at one time?
It's humanly
It's
impossible,
humanly
even if
impossible.
you could see.
Even if I could see, nobody could be at 8 places at one time.
She's trying to find an
So
escape
she
from this.
that's what's called the high expectation prejudice. They ask you ridiculous things that the people that they hire
No,
cannot
never
do
could do it.
what they're asking me to do.
Right.
So that's called a high expectation prejudice. And when I wrote my book, Making Weight, I did write about the 3 different prejudices. Now, getting into the sports world, one thing we did is we tried to stick to the TV channels that stuck to their regular lineup. Nancy has this art show that she watches
Yes.
on Mondays and Fridays, and they didn't change their lineup.
It's a Sarah and Roger Bessemer, and they travel around the country. And he's a very good artist, and she's a nice feminine girl. They make a great couple.
Yeah, you could see they're a very good couple. I wouldn't mind meeting that
I know,
couple.
me too. I feel like
They're
it.
they're and I think they live in St. Augustine. But we tried to do that.
And
But
TCM had some good movies. I
TCM
love The
had
Bishop's Wife.
yeah. TCM had some good movies, but the networks, they just went
Yeah, I know.
totally berserk.
Yeah.
Uh no football, no basketball, no hockey, no baseball. Hot stove league went down the chute.
Yeah, they just
I mean, everything it just went to hell and with no return. And it just keeps on going like a broken record.
and you listen to Lee Hexar Hamilton from
And
the
that's gone.
computer.
That's
Yeah,
gone.
he
All
took a
right.
week off.
And
Mike gets a lot of topics on the table from him. Sports
yeah,
news.
that's where I get a lot of sports news from him, but he's gone now.
Yeah.
So he's coming back on December 27th.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I got one more day without him. I'm having withdrawals from all this stuff.
Well, today's 27, so tomorrow maybe he'll be back.
I meant to say I said the 27th, but it's actually the 29th.
Oh, good.
So I got my days mixed up.
The numbers guy got a number.
The numbers guy got his numbers mixed up. You could write that down because that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, when we go to the grocery store or eat out, I say, "Well, here's the numbers guy." Well, so they get a kick out of
Yeah,
Mike.
the other day we went out to eat. It was a wonderful, delicious
It
meal.
was. We had fun.
And
They never add it all up.
they never
So
add it all up.
Mike has
So
to
I
add
have
it up
to add
to
it
the
all up.
sheet, and
And
then he goes up there, and then we test him.
it's 32. It was 32.46. Or that's what I guessed. But it was actually 32.47. What I had done, I forgot 1 penny in the sales tax.
Yeah, so he has kind of fun with them.
So I
They
do have
tease
fun
him.
with them, and we've been going to this place for
Well, 4
more than
years.
4 years,
Yep.
and I like the food. And I got my normal fish and chips
Yeah, it's a
with,
privately owned restaurant. It's not a chain.
and I'm a potato guy. So I'll tell you what I got with 2 sides. I got french fries, mashed potatoes and gravy, and a cup of potato cheddar soup. And I didn't know they had the potato cheddar soup, but I asked them
After we already
after
ordered.
we already ordered, and I thought, well, because they used to have it, but they quit having it for a couple of years actually. And but
Well,
just out of
when you were
curiosity,
surprised, you had to get it.
I had to get it. When I knew it was there, I had to get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had 3 kinds of potatoes, which is par for the course for me.
Yeah.
And, so we had that, and, uh,
I made a good turkey.
Nancy
Goodness.
made this wonderful Christmas turkey. It was, with,
Delicious.
cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes and gravy, and, beautiful, wonderful soup,
Mhm. Yeah, I
and
finally finished the soup with all those bones. You have to soak it, and it turned out good.
yeah, it did.
Got leftovers.
So, we got enough leftovers to last for a while, but, um, anyway, that's where we're going with that, and,
What are you going to talk about next week? Maybe we'll have some sports by then.
next week, we are gonna have a little bit of sports,
Okay.
not a full schedule, and, so anyway, I'm gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna talk about my early school days, and, um, that's gonna be interesting.
I just don't have a memory like Mike. I remember I was really teeny. One time my mom came looking for me at kindergarten, and the teacher had put me under the piano and she forgot I was there. Oh, nice. My mom always told that story. But I don't have much memory of my school days like Mike.
Yeah, I remember a lot, and I went to the school for 15 years because, like I said, I stayed back twice,
Hmm.
and I did tell the story about how, I stayed back in
I
kindergarten,
love that story.
what caused that,
Yeah, I
and,
told Mike he has to put that in the book.
yes, I did that,
I know.
but I had some incidents of being mistreated, and, uh, so that was it, and I'm gonna talk about that next week,
Cool.
and, maybe some sports, some college basketball if I
Yeah, see if you did good this week with lining them up. You have to go on Sunday.
yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Sunday.
It,
Nothing
I
Saturday.
pick 150 games, and if I win 90 of them, that's 60%, and that's against the point spread.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't get any money for it. I
Yeah,
just do it
for
for
fun.
the fun of it. And but sometimes it's pretty.
Well, we're
Uh,
wrapping this show up. I can't believe it's over already. So, guys, see you next year, huh? This has been the Nancy and Mike Show. Take care, guys.
This has been the Nancy and Mike Show. Tune in each week and become part of the conversation of the amazing journey of Nancy and Mike.